You know how sometimes the simplest things can hold the most surprising depth? Like a short walk or just a few lines of a poem. You might think you see it all in one glance, but today we're going to peel back the layers on what seems like a really simple poem and find a whole world of meaning hiding just under the surface. So let's start with that feeling, right before the sun breaks through.
We've all been there, right? It's been raining for what feels like days. The sky is just this heavy, gray blanket. You feel kind of cooped up, maybe your mood gets a little heavy too, and the whole world outside just looks washed out and quiet. It's a time of waiting, a time of wanting something to just break.
But what about that moment? That incredible feeling when the clouds finally part and the sun starts to peek through.
It's just pure relief and this quiet kind of joy. And the poet戴望舒, he absolutely nails this exact feeling in his poem When the Sky Clears. He doesn't just tell us about it. He basically takes us by the hand and invites us to experience it with him, step by step.
Okay, so first things first, let's just take that walk. We're going to explore the poem on its most direct sensory level, what you'd see, what you'd feel, what you'd touch on this very first walk after a long, long downpour. The poem opens with this really gentle invitation. It's not a command, it's more like a suggestion. The poet is turning to us, the reader, and saying, hey, come on, let's go see the world now that it feels brand new again. And where does he start this journey? Not with some big, sweeping vista. Nope, he starts right at our feet. He describes the path all softened and damp from the rain, and he calls it cool and gentle. You can almost feel that soft earth underfoot, can't you? It's the very first sensation of this renewed world. So from the path, from the ground, the poet starts to guide our eyes upward. We see the new green grass, completely washed clean of all its dust. Then the little white daisies, which he says are no longer timid, but are bravely lifting their heads. And finally, we see the butterflies, shaking the water from their wings and just fluttering among the leaves. Did you catch the structure there? This isn't just a random list of things. The poet is deliberately, carefully building this scene, lifting our gaze. We start grounded with the still, muddy path, and we slowly move up through the plants until we get to the butterfly, the perfect picture of movement and freedom. So we've seen what the poet describes, but the real magic, the secret sauce, is in how he describes it. Let's peel back another layer and look at the actual words he uses to make this world feel so incredibly alive. Okay, look at this line. He doesn't just say the grass is green. He says it's showing off its new green. I mean, what does it even mean for grass to show off? This is a classic literary technique called personification. By giving the grass a human action, showing off, the poet makes nature feel active and proud and joyful. It's not just a passive scene. It's a world that's celebrating its own comeback. And then we get this. This is an absolutely incredible description of a butterfly's wings. He doesn't call them wings. He calls them colorful, wise book pages. I mean, what a strange and beautiful image. So this is a metaphor. The poet is saying the wings are book pages. And think about it for a second. The intricate, super detailed patterns on a butterfly's wing, they're like the wisdom and the stories held inside the pages of a book. He's finding a whole universe of knowledge in one of the smallest creatures. It's brilliant. So we've seen the scene and we've seen the craft. But all of this technique, it's all working to serve one single purpose, to capture a central feeling. And there's one key phrase in this poem that kind of unlocks the entire emotional core of it. 闲游. It means to wander without a goal, to roam at ease, just for the pure pleasure of it. It's not about getting somewhere. It's about the feeling of being completely free and just present in the moment. This right here, this is the heart of the poem. And check out how the poet uses this idea to tie the whole scene together. He applies xiangyou to two things. First, the tiny butterfly wandering freely among the leaves, and then, at the very end of the poem, the vast clouds moving across the mountains. He's connecting the micro and the macro, showing that this feeling of leisurely freedom is a universal part of this whole renewed natural world. Okay, so we have a literal journey, we have masterful poetic craft, and we have a core emotion of leisurely freedom. It seems to be a beautiful, simple poem about a walk in the woods, right? Well, there's one final layer to peel back. And honestly, it changes everything. Because as lovely as this entire scene is, it wasn't written in a time of peace and leisure. Not even close. This poem was written during the Second Sino-Japanese War, which was a period of immense turmoil, suffering, and national struggle. The poet himself was living through all of this displacement and chaos. This wasn't just a rainy day he was writing about.
And suddenly, a line like this one takes on an entirely new weight. The gloom, or the haze, being pushed away by the new sun, that's not just about bad weather anymore, is it? And with that context, the poem's true depth just explodes into view. The entire walk, the gentle mud, the proud grass, that free-wandering butterfly, it all becomes this powerful, beautiful metaphor. It's an expression of a deep, deep longing for peace, a prayer for the long storm of war to finally end, and a vision of the freedom and simple beauty that could follow. The poem just transforms from a simple nature walk into this profound meditation on finding hope in really dark times. It reminds us that after every storm, there is the promise of a clearing sky. Which, I think, leaves us with a final thought. What are the storms we're waiting to pass? And what does that first walk in the sun look like for us?